rust, dust, and forgotten dreams, but all under $1,500. Today, we're digging up 10 classic cars and trucks that are rough, raw, and waiting for someone crazy enough to bring them back to life. Let's take a look at where you can score for next to nothing. 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass S. Here's a 1972 Olds Cutlass S sitting as a project or parts car. It's got an Olds 350 under the hood with an Edelbrock intake and Holley 4-barrel carb paired to a TH350 automatic. This one was originally blue with a white vinyl top and a black and white interior. It's all here, but it's rough. Rust in the floors, bodywork needed, and it hasn't run in decades. No title, just a bill of sale, but for $1,200, it's a complete A-body roller that's getting harder to find these days. (1973) Ford LTD. Next up, a '73 Ford LTD Project sedan. This one's not running, probably needs a new starter. The body has rust, but no major dents, and the interior is worn. Powered by a 400 V8 with a manual transmission. Only 32,000 miles on the odometer, and the seller has a clean title. At just $850, it could be a budget-friendly project or a great parts car. (1970) International Truck. Here we have a 1970 International pickup, bought from an auction. It comes with keys and paperwork, and it does run with a little TLC. Paint is gray, condition is very much antique workhorse, but with a clean title and a $1,500 price tag, it's a neat old-school truck that still has life left in it. (1963) Mercedes-Benz 220S. Classic European project here. A 1963 Mercedes 220S. It's a 4-door automatic with about 89,000 miles. Non-running at the moment, but it has new tires and the body is fairly straight with only light rust. No title, sold as is, but the seller has additional parts available if needed. For $1,500, it's an entry-level vintage Benz project. (1978) Lincoln Continental Mark V Diamond Jubilee Edition. This one's a big-body luxury coupe, a 1978 Lincoln Continental Mark V Diamond Jubilee Edition, showing 88,000 original miles and only 2 owners. The car has been sitting for years, so the tires are flat and the paint needs to be redone. Interior looks almost like new, though. Clean title, full-option car, priced at $1,400. Will need to be trailered, but could be a classy cruiser once revived. (1978) Chevrolet Impala. Here's a solid example of a late 1970s box Chevy, a 1978 Impala. The seller says it's been sitting for about 4 years, but the good news is that it does run and drive. At $1,500, it's priced as a very affordable entry point into the world of classic Chevrolets. This generation of Impala has become a favorite among enthusiasts who love to customize, whether that's going with a classic lowrider style, a donk build with oversized wheels, or just restoring it back to stock. The car is complete with about 80,000 miles showing and comes with a clean title. The seller admits it needs cosmetic work, which usually means paint and interior freshening, but the big-ticket items, engine and drivetrain, seem to be in working order. If you're looking for a cheap project that you can actually drive while you fix it up, this Impala might be worth a closer look. Seven, 1978 Ford truck. Next up, we've got a classic workhorse, a 1978 Ford pickup. Now, this one is being sold strictly as a project since it's not currently running. The odometer is broken and the title is missing, but the seller is letting it go for just $700. From the photos and description, the body looks like it's in restorable shape, with the original white paint still hanging on. The seller says the tires are in good condition, which makes moving it around or loading it on a trailer a lot easier. Old Ford trucks from the 1970s have been climbing in popularity, especially the F-Series, but even the less optioned base models are starting to catch interest among collectors and DIY restorers. At this price, it could be a cheap way to start a vintage truck build, or simply use it as a donor for parts if you've got another late 70s Ford project sitting around. Eight, 1974 Nissan 260Z. Here's a car that has a serious cult following, a 1974 Nissan 260Z. Listed at just $1,000, it's being described as a good starter restoration. The seller says the body is straight with only surface rust, no structural rot, which is great news for anyone familiar with how these early Japanese sports cars often rusted away. The interior, however, is in rough shape because the windows were left down for years, so expect to be replacing most of the upholstery, dash, and interior trim pieces. Still, the motor is complete and the car comes with a clean title. At this price, it's becoming harder and harder to find a Z-car project, especially since the earlier 240Z models have skyrocketed in value. A 260Z gives you much of the same styling and driving experience for a fraction of the price. For the right buyer, this is a steal. Nine, 1978 Ford Mustang. Next, a 1978 Ford Mustang project car priced at $850. This one is being sold by the owner and comes with a clean title in hand. It's a second-generation Mustang, sometimes called the Mustang II, which has a reputation for being less desirable compared to the earlier models. But for collectors, they're finally starting to gain some recognition. This car has been garage kept for 15 to 20 years, so while it isn't currently running, it should have some solid original parts to work with. The seller notes that it has about 100,000 miles on the clock and the odometer has rolled over. From a project standpoint, this Mustang offers a lot of potential. These smaller-bodied Mustangs can be turned into neat pro touring builds, or they can be restored to showcase the late 70s style that makes them unique. With plenty of original parts included, this might be an inexpensive entry point into classic Mustang ownership. 10. 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. Now finally, we've got one of the most iconic names in American classic cars, a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. This particular one is a four-door sedan project being sold for $1,000. Now, it's important to set expectations. This is a roller project only. There is no engine, no transmission, and no title. The body will need total restoration, so this is not a quick weekend fixer-upper. But for enthusiasts who love the Tri-5 Chevys, just getting your hands on a 57 Bel Air body can be worth it. The seller mentions it could also be a good parts donor for someone working on a coupe or convertible. To sweeten the deal, they're also offering a 1964 Impala two-door hardtop roller with a clean title for another $1,000, or you could potentially negotiate for both cars together. For fans of Chevrolet history, this is the kind of deal that doesn't come around often. Even in rough shape, a 57 Bel Air has presence and value. And this one could be the starting point for a very cool build if you've got the patience and skills.